last time on Big Bore Airguns, I showed you what the AirForce Texan with the carbon fiber tank and the TX2 valve can do out at 200 yards. Unlike a lot of the other show producers, I'm not tethering up my rifle to a scuba tank and trying to show you this gun's capable of producing these really nice groups. What I'm trying to show you is real world accuracy, untethered out in the field, what you can expect from your AirForce Texan carbon fiber tanked rifle. What we're going to do today is really kind of maximize out the range, at least for the scope I have. I don't think I'm going to be able to compensate for much more drop with this scope than what we're going to do today. So I've got a target set up way out there. That is 300 yards away. I've got this little bullet drop compensating little reticle thing that I've put up above it. I should be able to use that to kind of show me what my bullet drop is out at those ranges. Now I've got a deer silhouette also set up here at 200 yards. Once we're done firing 2 rounds at the 300 yard target, we'll move down to this one at 200. Also put 2 rounds down on that. And then we'll follow up with the 100 yard deer target right there. Then we'll throw a couple rounds here at the coyote silhouette at 50 yards. And this should give you a good representation of what these rifles are capable of doing all the way out to even really long ranges such as 300 yards. Okay guys, so we're going to take some shots here at 300 yards. Start out with, go ahead and zoom in here on the 300 yard target. Sorry for a little bit of shakiness. I'm going to try to get the target at the bottom of the screen. That way hopefully we can get the bullet in the shot here and we can play it back in slow motion. Alright, we're set up. I just took a couple practice rounds. Truth is, I think I'm jumping over the target again, allowing for too much bullet drop. So I'm going to go ahead and fire a couple more practice rounds at that crosshair reticle you see above the deer there. What we're going to do now is go ahead and load up one of these 340 grain homemade slugs that we have for the 4570. We're going to test it out again. Definitely got a metal impact on that one. Let's go ahead and throw one more round. Out in the field, folks, hunting with this rifle at 300 yards, that first round is definitely going to be your crucial round to know where it hits. Your second round, this follow-up round, is going to drop probably, I would say, a good 20 inches almost between that first round. There's going to be quite a bit of air pressure loss between the two. It's almost 500 psi. So here we go. Let's go ahead and take a follow-up round on that and see how well we do. Sound like I got another metal impact. Let's go take a look at the target, see how well we did. So sadly, the camera that I had down here on the target, its memory ended up full and stopped recording before the shots happened. Those last 2 shots hit, I believe shot number 1 was right here, which is just below the top right there, right in the dead center. Shot number 2 actually hits right there. You can see this hole, it's right here in the target. So, and I've just measured that with a tape measure. There is 25 inches of drop between shot number 1 and all the way down here at shot number 2. Now this was shot number 2 on my last run, so it's literally hitting just next to each other down over here. I'm hard off to the right just a little bit here, which is probably my scope slightly canted. Hopefully I've got this right, where between shot 1 and shot 2 I can compensate, and it looks like one solid mil dot out here at 300 yards in the scope. So I'm going to go from the 4th mil dot all the way up to the little point at the very bottom of it all, right where the solid black line comes up to your smaller line there. There's a little point. So I'm going basically down to your 5th mil dot. Alright guys, so I've taken down the upper little piece of aluminum off of our deer target. This is basically trying to figure out in real world situation, 300 yards, I've got 2 shots. Let's say the first shot doesn't put the animal fully down, it gets back up, I want to put a follow-up shot on it. So that's why we're going to do these 2 shots. Hopefully I can compensate for the drop between the 2 shots and put them both on the silhouette. So here we go, shot number 1. Ooh, I think I heard metal on that. ahead and load up another one of these rounds. I'm using my loading tool right now to make sure I get a nice deep seat on these rounds. The deeper I seat them, the more accurately they're going to hit here. So like I said before, this shot we should have a 25-inch drop. So I'm going to actually change up and drop one single mil dot. Let's see if we can still hit the target. Ooh, I heard metal again. Let's go take a look, see how well we did. Well guys, I'm just now walking up here on the target. I can see where the two hits are. They're both a little high and a little far over to the right there. But look how nice and tight I got them together. And I was compensating with one solid mil dot between each one of those shots. Okay, so I just went down, took a look at the target. We fired those first two rounds without the backdrop piece above it. Looks like we got a pretty good grouping on there, just a little over to the right, which is either the wind or it's the cant in my scope. I think I've got just a little bit of a twist in the scope, and you've got to remember, I'm firing from the 4th mil dot above the crosshair at 50 yards, all the way down to the 4th and 5th mil dot below the crosshair out here at 300 yards. So we've really gone through a range on that scope, and I'm at 4 power on my magnification. Let's go ahead and set up 2 more rounds on that 300-yard target. Here we go, folks. Shot number 1. On the black. Ooh, I think I heard metal. You gotta remember, folks, I'm using homemade rounds that are for the 45-70. These have all kinds of imperfections in the casting. They are in no way quality cast ammo. Here we go, let's take our second shot out there. Let's see if we can even hit it. Ooh, I heard metal on that too. Let's go take a look at the target. Alright, so I'm walking up here on the target. Looks like we did pretty well. Look at that grouping we've got going right there. So one of them obviously is one of these two over here. And then we've got these 3 rounds right down the line here. So I'm aiming here, and I'm just not adjusting at all. I'm just aiming at the same spot. I have to adjust my mil dots in between shot number 1 and 2 by 1 full mil dot. So you do see that happening here. Maybe a little bit of wind drift as getting a gust in between. But this right here is telling me the gun is really capable of providing a first round, possibly even a second round, accurate shot out here at 300 yards. Now I'm going to go ahead later on and I'll start doping the scope over a little bit to the left to adjust for that. I just didn't want to change anything about where the point of impact was going to be, so I kept my point of aim exactly the same. Let's go ahead and move down to the 200-yard target and see how well we do. Let's go ahead and zoom in for you. There you go. Sorry about that. And I've also got the camera right on the target itself, so you'll be able to see close up the impacts themselves. Here we go, shot number 1. So there's one hit. Let's go ahead and just throw another one of those down there on the target just to see if we can get a group of 2. Here we go, shot number 2. Well, we definitely got the ringer behind the kill zone with that one. You could hear the impact. Alright guys, so we've been shooting out there at 300, 200, and right now what we're going to do is zoom in and take a few shots here at the 100-yard target. I was shooting yesterday at the 300. The wind got really strong, so I put it off till today to do these 200 and 100-yard shots. And I have to tell you, our relative humidity yesterday was almost nothing. Today, we've got rain coming down and humidity has jumped. And one thing about these air rifles is that changes in weather actually dramatically change the point of impact of your round. I am dropping 10 inches lower right now at 100 yards than I typically would when it's about 10% humidity. We're probably up to 80s, maybe even 90% humidity right now. Let's go ahead and fire a couple rounds at this 100-yard target, see how well we can do. Alright, there's one hit on the ringer. There's our second hit on the ringer. They look nice and close together. Nice grouping there. So real quickly here, let me zoom in on the coyote for you. That's at 50 yards. Alright, let's just take one shot there at the coyote, see how well we can do. And that way we've kind of gone through the entire gamut from 300, 200, 100, and now down to 50 yards. And at least we put lead on each one of them. So here we go. So there you go. One round at the 50, a couple rounds out at 100, 2 rounds out at 200. And we put 4 rounds out there. Well, 6 altogether with the first couple practice rounds out at 300 yards for you. And until next time, this is Big Bore Air Guns. Don't forget to get your air gun on.